Here's an initial checkout of a Galaxy fan, model 2150. This is a 12-inch oscillating fan I got from Craigslist, directly from the owner at his house that I met in person in New York State. Well, between Buffalo and Niagara Falls is where the house was I got for this fan, and I got this on the way home from a vacation trip in Canada visiting family. I wanted a Galaxy 2150 of this color, and it took a while to find one, especially in good shape. These seem to be hard to find around the area I live, even though the brown ones are more common, which is strange because this is after the brown models with the transparent blades, and this logo came out before the gray model I'm showing here. Galaxy did have another logo with a capital G in the lowercase letters after that. But it does work. It's a quiet fan. I did test the fan before I took it home. So here it is. The grills are loose, I'll take care of that, and there's only one clip, so I'll get clips from another desk fan for the grills. This fan has plastic grill clips, and they can break after years. Here's the cord. It's a different style cord from the older brown blade models and the blue blades. This has the carry handle on design here. Some of the brown blade models have this style motor cover too. And this model fan is made by Lasco and sold under various brands, especially store brands too. But first I'll take it apart to clean up all the motor and put some more clips on. This fan needs like at least 4 or 5 overall to keep the grills from rattling. It's time to take this fan apart for cleaning. I'm taking the front grill off first, then the blades. That's the clip for the grills. And after this, at the end, I'll put some more clips on for the grills. I just took the back grill off after taking the blades. Now I'm using a Phillips head screwdriver to take the front motor cover off, and then I'll take the oscillating pin off, which I had to do slowly at actual pace to avoid breaking it as I pull it out. Now I'm using a Phillips head screwdriver to loosen the rear motor cover off, and eventually this will come off as soon as I get the oscillating pin out that controls the oscillating feature. Now I'm got the pin out for the oscillator, and I'll take the motor cover off. Here's a close-up of the oscillating gears. The motor says made in USA. Here's underneath the sticker. Well, it's engraved in plastic with the specs. Another close-up of the motor. Alright, here's some screws I took out. I just realized the plastic's shaking. There's some broken pieces here for the, I think this is for the tilt mechanism here of the fan. And here's something engraved on the plastic here. This fan's definitely, I'd say, definitely late 80s model, at least. Like 1988 to 1992 or some 90s era of this Galaxy logo. Here's a switch. I'll be blowing dust out, clean that up, and wash the parts here that I took apart. It's time to use a garden hose here to rinse these parts out, and then I'll dry them out, air dry them, and wipe again for final assembly coming later. This grill, I'd say, is one of the cleanest grills I've seen on a Galaxy desk fan of this style, because some of them are dirtier and have rust on. This one barely has any rust on the grills. It was very well kept for the age. Here are the washed out parts being dried out on the ground before I put them together. Now I'm using an Orc vacuum in blower mode to blow the dust out from the buttons here around the motor as well, before wiping the parts and oiling the motor coming up. Now I assembled the switch together and putting the base on the bottom of the fan. Now I'm putting the screws back in here and using a Phillips head screwdriver to tighten these screws before I continue with servicing further. Here were the pieces from the tilt mechanism that came out under the base when I took it apart for cleaning. I'll worry about that later, another time when I get a chance, but I was able to tilt the head up so far without breaking the mechanism that's existing. I just took the cap off for 3-in-1 oil here so I can oil the motor. I'll start with the rear bearing here. With the motor here, and its open design makes it easy to oil and to blow dust out for cleaning. This oscillating mechanism is held by clips here that snaps in, no screws like the older transparent brown blade models. But I'll try to insert some oil here. So this fan did go through cost cutting with the quality of the parts, it seems, compared to the older blue and brown bladed models of the 2150 that have higher quality plastics and motors, it seems. But this fan is still better than the new stuff in store, quality wise. Here's another barrel tri oil, and this is a different design motor than the older Galaxies, like I mentioned. I have the blue blade, the brown blade. I can see a difference in the quality. Like the motors are designed differently. Some things like this oscillating piece, a separate piece, not attached to the back of the motor. But it is made in USA according to this print here. I'm not sure if it's Alaska made motor or made by a motor company. Still better than the new table oscillating fans and the stuff that Alaska makes now. This is entirely made in USA, not assembled partially with import parts, well, some import parts and just final assembly. The shaft is more loose now, so this will give more years of oiling, and I'll go do the final assembly and turn on eventually. It's time for me to put the rear motor cover back on and tightening the screw with the Phillips head screwdriver again. It's the same screwdriver I used for disassembly. Then I'll put the oscillating pin back on, which snaps right in, and then the front motor cover again. I'm putting the screws back in for the front motor cover, and then I'm tying the screw for the rear motor cover to make sure that it's not going to fall apart when I use the fan. And then I'll move on to the rest of the final assembly process. Now it's time to put the rear grille back on, and then tightening the nut for the rear grille, then goes on the blades and tighten the blade nut again, and then the front grills come off. And I also got plastic grill clips from another fan that I'm going to use on this one to keep the grills together to avoid rattling during use. And then I'm also going to do a brief demonstration of the fan on every speed at the end after the servicing job. But in the later video, in the future, I'm planning to do a video of fixing the tilt mechanism on this fan too. Here's the fan back I just put together and cleaned up, oiled. So here's on low. And there you go, that's servicing this fan here, and again, these plastic pieces from tail mechanism, I'm planning to do a video fixing it eventually when that day comes. There you go. And I also have plans on doing in-depth video of this fan as well inside the living room too, but so hopefully you enjoy that, and I'm looking to make more fan videos again.